Hello, everybody. So, I apologize if I look a bit tired. This is because I did an audition today, but it's not the audition that I'm going to be talking about today. This video is going to be about the audition for the BA Honours in Acting. My first acting audition of the year, of ever, really, for Arts University Bournemouth. In my opinion, this is an underrated course for an underrated university. I only ever heard about it through a couple of people who went there after being from my college on my course. And that was the only way I've heard about it because it's quite new. It's only about 10, 15 years old. So I went there. It took about 5.5 hours to get there, but I went there and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'll also talk more about the outcome of it at the end of this video. So, the only reason, I said before, the reason why I applied for it is sort of because other people applied for it, but also because the thing that attracted me to apply to the course was because in the third year you get to devise a lot. In fact, you get to devise a lot throughout all the years, but in the third year particularly, you get to basically devise anything. And as long as you can get like the appropriate like actors or the appropriate equipment or whatever, you can do anything in your third year, and that's what I love about it. I love the fact that you can truly show off how your creative skills on the writing side, because I love writing and I love creating stuff and I love creating plays and poetry and songs and all that. So I really liked that idea of just being able to create anything and have it made a reality in the third year. And there are several opportunities to do that throughout all the years, but the third year in particular was good. And also in the third year you get to perform in a variety of pieces as well, but like a proper variety. So there's also musicals. Even though it's an acting degree, you get to perform in musicals. You also get to perform in other people's films. You get to perform in other people's plays. You get to perform in plays that are put on by the course. So you apply through UCAS as standard because it's a university, and it's only £25 for the audition fee, which is a lot cheaper than most of the other drama schools that I've applied to. In fact, it's the cheapest one, and it's a good thing really, because according to what I've heard, the uni is pretty much offers a similar amount of training, a similar quality of training to several other drama schools that are there, and you can already see that they value you as an actor a lot more, because although their audition only lasts about 20 minutes in total other than waiting, it's only 25 quid versus 45, 50, 55 quid, which is good. You get an email just basically confirming your time and date. I don't think there were any more forms. You didn't even need to bring a passport photo, which was good. And there are no recalls involved, just the decision made on the day, whether you get an offer or you don't get an offer. That's it, no recalls. So this is now going to go on to the actual audition. So I got there and I signed in at reception, and I was asked to take a seat because I got there slightly earlier than everybody else. Just kind of sat there until a guy came in, because there are a few other courses that had auditions like photography and graphic design on that day as well, so we were all just stood around. Then these guys came in and were like, would anybody from graphic design come with me? And then finally it was, would anybody who's doing the BA acting audition come with me? And we went through the campus. It's a lovely campus, by the way. It's absolutely, I love it. I adore it. It's really modern and creative, and just I feel like I would fit in there a lot. We walked through into another building, walked up I think a few flights of stairs and into like their black box theatre, and it was under construction at that moment, so it was pretty dirty and like untidy and stuff, but I think they were organising and creating their next set for their production, so it was fine. We just sat there, and then there were 3 guys. Unfortunately, I can't remember any of their names apart from Doug, because I just like that name, Doug, so it's stuck in my head. But there were 3 guys, and they basically talked about the course at first, and then they did like a Q&A, and I was one of 2 people, only 2 people out of the I think there were 14 people that were there, who asked questions. And my question was, where do your alumni go, or where do your students go after they complete your course? And they gave quite a detailed response to that, which was good. And I think they took interest in me after that, because I was one of the 2 people who only asked questions, which was good. So then we waited around, and we were split into groups of 5 or 4, similar to Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, except like there was less to it. All you had to do was go into a room. One of the first year students, I think they were first years, or maybe they were third years, they came and they took you to this room so you didn't get lost. And so we were split into groups of 5 or 4. I can't remember whether I was 3rd or 4th out of my group, but I was somewhere in the middle. And I went up there and said hi to the guy. He wasn't Doug, he was another guy. And he was like, hi, what monologues are you going to be performing for us today? Now, I had Queen Margaret from Henry VI Part 3, and I had Imogen from Overshadowed by Eva O'Connor. Those were my 2 monologues, and I said the names to him, and he was like, oh, okay, just, we want to hear your, I think it was the Shakespeare first. Yeah, I think it was the Shakespeare first. And so I did that. It went fine. It went really well. The place I was in was quite small, but it was quite friendly, so it was nice. And then I did my contemporary, and it went really well, actually. Like, I was satisfied with it. Then he said to me, oh, those 2 monologues aren't really that contrasting. Yeah, they're not really that contrasting. They kind of play the same emotion. And I thought, oh my god, I've just completely messed this up by now. So I decided to take a risk, and I had prepared 2 other monologues that were less good, but I had still prepared them just in case. So I said to him, oh, well, I have 2 other monologues, if you'd like to see them. And he was like, oh right, okay, what other monologues do you have? And I was like, well, I have another Shakespeare and another contemporary. And he was like, oh, okay, what's the other Shakespeare? And I said, Imogen from Cymbeline this time. And he was like, okay, we'll see you with the Shakespeare. So I performed my other Shakespeare to him, and I did it like standing, like I'd always performed it standing, not really moving much, which I guess makes sense if it's Shakespeare. And he said to me, okay, well, I think this was part of the whole directing thing. He was like, oh, well, you didn't really move much in any of those monologues. I want to see you move more. Really create the picture around you and the image around you. Make us believe that you're in that scene. Where are you? He started questioning me about the context of the monologue. Luckily, I had researched beforehand Cymbeline, so I knew what I was talking about, thank goodness, otherwise I would have just been lost for words. So I explained it to him, and he was like, okay, now really visualize that and really use the space around you. So I ended up like going out of the room, closing the door behind me, and then opening it and like running around, because I was meant to be like outside a cave entrance, and I was meant to be being hunted because people wanted me dead. So I was trying to act afraid and scared, and it was like, we need to see that played a bit more, but maybe not using a door, because that's not really like appropriate for the scene. I was like, yeah, good idea actually. So I hid behind a curtain instead that was in the room, which was quite fun. And then I did all of that, and I felt much better doing it. He said to me, oh, that's quite impressive they have more than 2 monologues. And then he sat down and asked me a few questions, which was sort of like a mini interview. He asked me, why do you want to come to Bournemouth? And I said, because it's quiet and it's quite far away from where I live, so it's like sort of a new adventure for me, and I'm taking a big risk with it, which is something I'd enjoy, and I love the place around me. And then mentioned someone who went to my college and went to Arts Uni Bournemouth, and I was like, I know her, and she came back to my college and did a talk about Arts Uni Bournemouth and told us all about it, and I got really interested from that. And I think that was the only major question that he asked me. And then he said, okay, do you have any more questions for me? And before this, in the Q&A, this guy who was doing my audition had talked about the fact that they do puppetry in it. And there was this company that came around a few months ago and did like a puppetry workshop, but it was only like a crash course. It wasn't anything major. But I decided to use that. So I was like, can you tell me more about the puppetry that you do? Because there was this puppetry workshop that came to my college and did puppetry, and we got to see one of their shows, but it was only crash course, so I want to hear more about what you do. And he told me loads about that, which was good. I asked him as well, tell me more about the third year, because I was really interested in the third year and all about devising. I told him that I liked writing and stuff. So he told me all about that. And then that was it. He was like, okay, thank you. And then one of his third year or first year students took me back out again and down into the waiting room, and then I went to the hotel. And that was the end of the audition. It was only about 20 minutes. It was meant to be like 10 to 15 minutes, but the people with that particular guy took longer. And then 2 days later, on the Monday, I got a notification from UCAS, and I opened it, and it said I have an offer from Arts Uni Bournemouth, and it was one of the best feelings that I have felt like ever. I cried because I just want to go to Arts Uni Bournemouth so much. It was such a nice place. Like, I didn't even get to see the beach that much, but I just feel at home there. I really do. I really love the place, and not only the university, but the place in which it's situated. It's so nice, and everybody's really nice as well. It can be a bit quiet, but I guess we didn't really see much of the city because we were only there for a day, as opposed to 2 days with Glasgow. But anyway, I got an offer. I got a conditional offer, and I am just so happy that I actually got an offer from somewhere, because I'm actually going to be going somewhere after this year, and I don't have to worry about taking a gap year or whatever, as long as I get the grades, of course. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, so I got an offer for a place. Yay! So that's what happened at Arts University Bournemouth, and I hope that it helped you with your audition if you're having one in the years of 2017 to 2018 or even beyond that. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I'll see you later.